hockey stick through the stratosphere. All the kids are downloading it, not just kids. We'll talk about that here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if do any of you remember the app Musical.ly? Yeah? So a couple of you. So way back, let's go back about 5 years or so, Musical.ly came out and it sort of did the same thing. It went up hockey sticks and it was very, very popular with the youth. It had like awards going on. They had influencers. It was a very big deal. But of course, lip syncing for business seemed a little bit weird to me. I don't know about you, but it did to me. And my kids were all on it. And I did a few Musical.lys at the time just for fun. But I was like really interested in it. And then it seemed that it kind of started to lose its interest with the crowd. It plateaued, and Instagram started offering stories and some other kinds of things like that drew the kids back to Instagram. And so I was watching it, but then it was bought by a Chinese company. And that's really what happened here, is that this app was bought by a Chinese company. So realize this is a Chinese app. I mean, it's definitely owned, spying on you specifically. What's your name again? Oh yeah, okay, sorry. Only you and me and like all the thousands of people watching us on all the other platforms. Hi. So yeah, it's a Chinese app, and so it's gone absolutely mad. And so I wanted to bring Jose in because I watched him also start to play around with it.
Yes.
Last year, and he's no guru or anything like that, although he's done some really interesting things and had some success. So I wanted to bring somebody in to just start talking about how he's using it for his business and for us to have a conversation around it and at least to educate ourselves. Because I do feel that as social media marketers and so on, that we need to know like what the things are. So I remember when Twitter came out in 2007, I was an early adopter to that as well. And I had other agency owners telling me, oh, that's just a fad. It's going to go away. It'll never happen. And Scott Baradell, he later came back to me and said, yeah, I was wrong about that, obviously. I'm not saying that this will be that, although I think we need to start thinking about what is the next thing. Because, with Facebook under the gun, with all of the different legislators and regulators across the world, there's going to be room for competition. Let's just say it that way. There's some room for competition. So thank you for being here today. And his, I'm going to actually give you his stuff because he is not Jose. He's your nonverbals on everything. He is pretty interesting guy because he specializes in nonverbal communication, which is really interesting too. We can talk about that a little bit as well. Yeah. He is a certified body language specialist. So right now he can tell if you're hiding something or lying.
Nervous.
Yeah. He's a published researcher and multimedia content creator. He studies the science of nonverbal communication, and his interest on social media is to observe the attention and communication habits that are going on daily. So my name is Cami Huiza, if you haven't met me. I am the founder of Social Media Breakfast of Houston. This is our 10th year. Yeah. I am literally an old lady now in social media. When I started, I was a young thing. So, don't feel bad if you are a person that's like, I'm not so sure about this TikTok thing. How many are in that camp? Who's the I'm not sure about TikTok thing? Here just to find out. Okay, good. Who's like, I got to learn how to use this. We're going to have to figure out a way to use it in our awesome. Who's like, I have no clue. Like, we'll get there. Okay, good. All the above. Check. All right. So that being said, hi, Jose.
Hi. Thanks for having me this morning.
Absolutely. We also have a hashtag for those of you who are new. It's SMBHOU, and I'm like about to choke. Thank you, water. Thank you, Katie. Also, Katie is here. So if you're watching out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, all you need to do is type in your questions in the comments, and it will actually be pulled into our tool, which is StreamYard, and we will be able to answer your questions. So we would love for you to be involved in this as well if you're out there in social media land. So that being said, let's just get started with it. Why TikTok? Like, why did you start with TikTok? What drew you to this in the first place?
I saw the attention. Again, everyone was just hopping on, and of course, you ask yourself, do I need to get on there because everyone's doing it, right? I'm already okay on Instagram. I'm already okay on Twitter. I'm already okay. My business is doing all right. But I liked it more just because it was, and we'll probably get more into this, like very free, very just open. I will probably quote a lot of TikToks, and if you've seen them, I'll hear the giggles because that's the research on TikTok. But there was a specific TikTok that I saw that kind of broke down social medias and said Facebook is for, see if I remember, Facebook is for your GoFundMe and political opinions, Instagram's for your best takes, and TikTok is where everyone go where you don't care. Can I curse? I don't know. Can I curse in the lesson? We don't care. I'll just say, okay, we don't care. I saw that. I read that nonverbals. I'll watch my language.
Yeah.
Where you just don't care. So it was interesting. That take was interesting, and that's why I think the younger generation is going to it because, again, they're not going to care, and that was new land for him. So for me, when I tried it out, I just said, let me see what's going on. What's that take? Do we have some music going on?
This might be.
Oh.
It's probably me. See, I had my TikTok on.
Your TikTok's going. But yeah, I just decided it was another thing and kind of looked at it. I didn't even know, I kind of skipped over Musical.ly. So I didn't even know about Musical.ly, just kind of went over it because again, the lip sync and it didn't draw my attention. But TikTok, once I got on it, and then immediately what kind of hooked me on was, again, we'll go deeper into this, the editing tools within the app, within TikTok. And if you've ever heard anything about social media, people will tell you video, do video, get into video. And again, this is a good app for that, to do video for that purpose.
So I like that you're saying this because that is, I think, one of the biggest hurdles for most, I think, business uses is that it is a very much more relaxed platform in the sense of that. And you're asking about cursing, and there is cursing going on in there because it also is using like music. So could we talk a little bit about the music part of this and how that's working?
Yeah, so I guess just the basis of breakdown of TikTok is you record a video through the tools either they use there, and actually there's external tools that you probably might be using already that you could use. But the attention over it is that you could overlay either a sound, a music, a skit, anything. Again, it's not just music like Musical.ly, like you said earlier, you could lip sync, but it could be a skit. It could be, I've seen Kevin Hart pieces on, from comedians and external stuff that people just go there and use. And once you overlay that, then you can people are just getting creative on how they use it. So it could be literally a 2, 3, 1 punchline thing, a skit, and people could be using it 10 different ways. And that's where maybe for businesses and for you, your brand, you could kind of jump in and like use it in your own way.
Right. So let's talk about that because that's like the trending like topic. So if you open up the app, you'll see that if you have it, you're going to see that when you get on the app, I'm going to go try to the beginning here. It's going to have a bunch of stuff on it that it says like for right now, For My Valentine is trending, not shocking. Happy Valentine's, everybody.
Oh yeah, it is Valentine's Day.
So they have a dog here holding a rose. They have some different things. And so there's several different parts to TikTok. I know you're gonna have to like turn down.
Watch your volumes,
don't worry about it. Because even I had my volume down, and when it comes up, it went up anyway. So just still have to do it when you get there. It's okay. We'll give you grace. But anyway, you'll see all of these different TikToks. So you may first of all be like, how do I like navigate this app? So could you talk us through navigating the app at the opening?
Yeah, immediately. I mean, if you look at it, if you have it on your phone, we'll look at it. The tabs are on the bottom, and you have your home, your search, your create, I believe it's notifications, and your profile. Yeah, so you have 5 tabs. Home is where the main feed is, and then that's broken down. This is TikTok lingo. If you ever hear anyone say the For You page, it's your main feed that everything happens on, and that's kind of like the algorithm, what TikTok wants you to see, what you've been liking, and it just follows down, and it's just random. It just goes all the way through. And then on the home, on the other side up top, you see following, and then For You, and then the follow. There's a baby on TikTok.
I know, baby.
Following.
Sorry.
The following side is the people that you actually follow. So that separates, from what you kind of maybe want to see, kind of like Twitter lists. You just want to see a certain thing. So following are the people, the accounts you follow, and then the For You is just what TikTok wants you to see. The next is the search or the browse or the explore tab, if you will. And that's actually...
It's called Discover.
Discover, okay, Discover. And that's actually where you'll see, if you're gonna start doing research, you wanna get on there. Hashtags, so hashtags and topics, which again, on here, it moves way quicker than any other social media. They change 2-3 day dance, a new trending challenge. That's where brands are paying to actually get on top and see yourself. I've seen Jumanji on there. The Super Bowl went crazy. The NBA right now, there's an All-Star coming up, so there's a bunch of that content on there. Hashtag broom challenge. I don't know how many people of you balanced your broom.
Could you talk about the broom challenge? Because I saw that the other day. I'm like,
yeah, I actually saw it first that morning. Was it Monday?
Yeah.
On TikTok, and then I saw it on Twitter. which was interesting because usually I open Twitter and it's like, okay, this is what's happening now. But TikTok, I saw it from someone just posted and they mentioned that NASA had said on this day today, the broom can stand up. But yeah, it's still trending right now. This happened Monday, and then by Monday night, Twitter was actually like trending the broom challenge, but by then, like TikTok had already gone over it, so that little hump was there, and it's still going. The trending, the hashtag was the broom challenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, it moves a lot quicker than you probably Twitter, something like that, but it's more hashtag based, where Twitter could be like an actual phrase or just a word. But for here, the discovery, yeah, it just, if you go down, it'll give you like the top trending. And I don't know, do you want to dig into hashtags or that use of it right now?
Yeah, we might as well, because I mean, we're right in hashtags, because hashtags are different on this than
Right.
they are on Instagram. So could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so hashtags, again, it moves, it's quick. And the way I've seen people use a hashtag, it doesn't actually have to be relevant to what you're posting. You want to use it because you want to be discovered and seen. So when you make a TikTok and you're typing your caption, I've seen way shorter captions on TikTok, or just 2 or 3 word descriptions, and everything else, the space they're using is actually for the hashtag. And TikTok is convenient because when you type your caption as you're going, it gives you on the bottom of the caption box, it gives you an option to tag your friend or an option to put hashtags. And if you hit the hashtag button, it'll actually give you suggestions and it'll tell you what's trending on that discovery. So you don't have to go searching for like, okay, what's, if you search hashtag social media and you know how it gives you on Instagram suggested, you have to go down that rabbit hole. Well, TikTok, it gives it to you right there in that list. So your search becomes a little bit more quicker. So people will literally put what's trending, even though it doesn't match the video or the content that you're making, just because it helps.
So why do they put the hashtag For You page on there all the time?
For you, so that's one of the main ones, again, where it's just like a main topic. Like if you were to hashtag Instagram or something like that on Instagram, where it's more common. So that's one of the things that people think that'll help you get discovered. There was another one, it actually doesn't. I don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of people do have it on the For You, because you want to get, that's the thing on TikTok, you want to get on that For You page where it's showing up on new fresh eyes and other profiles to look at you.
Right.
And then yeah, the hashtag change every time because it goes by challenge. It just depending on what's actually top of mind. It could be either something that a brand paid for, because brands, again, we'll probably talk into this, brands are paying to get branded content on there and they'll make their own hashtag. Or it could be a challenge that's going on that day that someone made, or literally, again, just a skit, 2 or 3 words that just happen to be going on that day, and that's what's trending. So the hashtags, I saw something yesterday where in Instagram, you have, you know how they tell you do your hashtag little bunch and then put it there, and that's how you're going to be discovered. Well, TikTok tells you what you need to put to actually get discovered, so you don't have to spend more time on doing you. Oh, I know that song. TikTok will tell you what hashtags to actually use to help you find you discovered. Again, it doesn't have to actually go with your content. People are just throwing the hashtags on there because they want to be discovered.
So hashtags are one way.
Yeah.
The other way are sounds. So I'm
Yes.
hearing about sounds that are trending. So
Mhm.
can you explain what that means?
So the sounds is either, again, we talked about it could be music, and this has been huge for the music industry. There's actually artists right now that you're probably hearing on the radio that came from TikTok that you had no idea. And those artists, I've seen them on TikTok, they're actually following their analytics on Spotify, their plays, and I've seen artists who show their charts, and it's like 2018, 2019, and like 2020, their chart just goes boom as far as listens because of TikTok, and they attribute that to that. And I've told a lot of my producer and music friends, hey, go get on TikTok, like just make a simple graphic and put your song over it, and then throw it out there and use the hashtags, because it's gonna get some attention that people could either make a dance to it or make a skit to it or put something over it.
So yeah, so let me kind of dig into that a little bit, because I know this is like, there's a lot here, guys. So
Yes.
inside of that, he just talked about uploading your own sounds. And what TikTok does is it puts a little thing on there that says original sound. It shows these like music notes coming off original sound.
Bottom right corner.
Bottom right. So if you upload that stuff onto TikTok, if you're a musician, it's a big deal, because then you can have like, you've now given people permission basically to remix
Right.
it, right? By uploading it.
Correct. Yeah, you put it out there. Yeah, if you put it out there, and a lot of people do that. That's one of the things where either you're creating original content, or there's not a lot of original content on there because people keep reusing that sound. But if you get lucky enough to where you upload something that people think it's funny, or they want to reuse it, remix it, like you said, you will click. So again, it's on the bottom right. There's a little like disco ball look, or not a ball, but like a disco.
Yeah,
what's it called? A CD, something on the bottom, or
yeah,
just
it's like kind of turning. If
yeah,
you
it's a
see
turning. It's a turntable kind of thing.
turntable.
So
Old-fashioned record
Yeah.
player.
the turntable on the bottom. So that'll tell you at the bottom, and the sound, whatever the name of it, will be floating on it too. And if you click on it, actually, this is another way to, again, go down the rabbit hole. If you click on it,
So I'm gonna do that.
it'll take you to the sound, and it'll show you who made it, what it is, a title, but it'll also show you everyone else who's used that sound. So you could go and do your research and see how someone else might be using that sound, and either get your own ideas, remix your own ideas into it. And it's kind of by like tiered. So the first video you'll see on that is the most popular video, and you'll probably see the most popular creators on there use that sound. And then you can just scroll down and see the different uses of it. That's where, again, like a hashtag, you'll see what's trending, what you're doing. And if you just want to get on there and copy that and do that, boom, you're done. There's your content right there that you want to do. It's not shamed upon to actually just repeat what someone else has done. And it's, again, there's not so much original content. The original content will probably be you, the creator, that's actually doing your face.
So that being said, we did have a question. Actually, Marilyn Barber, hey Marilyn, asked us about licensed music and can you be sued and uploading sounds. So I think for businesses that becomes really a huge issue. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer. I don't do legal, but from what I've seen is TikTok is very on top of those things where, again, Justin Bieber uploaded his Yummy song, one of his recent ones, and people are using it. And then I'm pretty sure they went through the back end and actually got the legal rights and they put it on there and people could use it on there. But if you get a sound from somewhere else and put it on there, sometimes it might let you, and you're clear to go on using that sound. And sometimes immediately it'll tell you, no, this music or this sound has not been cleared for copyright in your country, which is weird because some music could be foreign, or some music could be from here, or a sound.
Or a personal sound even that you upload.
A personal sound. Well, I haven't seen many people tag personal sounds for the sound. But it's more a music type thing where, for now, I haven't really seen it be so strict, but there are some sounds and videos that you may not know. My advice is just try it. Just give it a try, because you're either going to get flagged, or it's going to get taken down, or it's going to get muted. Well, and that happens a lot.
And I think for business, honestly, don't upload copyrighted music. If you have your own music, that's fine, but like don't upload copyrighted music. You could maybe try to do something that you got off of a royalty-free platform. I mean, that'd probably be okay. But I would just use the same rules you use everywhere else for your own company, I would say. Yeah.
So the sound has already been uploaded by the artist.
Yeah.
You can use it?
Yes.
Yes. Which is, well, and then I'll kind of piggyback on your comment, because you can kind of not upload music from outside from an artist and then put it on TikTok, because TikTok might already have it and they'll let you use it.
So
and they may not let you, search. And then within the search, again, if you go search, there's a way to search sounds, I think, where it'll tell you, or hit the search bar up top.
Oh,
if you hit the search bar, so you can search for anything on there, or actually while you're in the creator mode, so maybe skipping on next tab, tab in the middle,
tab,
the little plus
sign.
Right up top, I think you'll see a word that says sound. So if you actually click on it, it'll take you to the list, and it'll tell you right there, discover. It'll give you trending topics. It'll give you a genre. It'll give you all kinds of things that you could actually look for. And with sounds as well, with videos, you could actually save them and keep them as your favorites. So if you see something,
which are like little bookmarks. Like
the
you just
bookmarks.
click on them, they're like these little tabs on the side, and then they'll keep them in your account for you.
In your account. And the same as well, if you click on a sound on there, it'll take you to a whole list, a grid of other videos made with that sound.
Oh.
So you click on it, and it tells you to use it, and then click on it again, maybe. No, there's a way. Oh, there used to be a way to where you could click on it, but again, you'll see more videos used with that sound, so you get an idea of how that sounds.
But it does show you what's trending for sound. So like if you just kind of go down, it'll have like a little fire thing, so you can click on what's trending. Because some people are searching by the sound, so that may be another way for you to find a place to kind of fall in. One of the other things you can do is, even if you're not big, like you don't know a lot of artists, you don't know a lot of music or whatever, you can just search by keyword. So like, like the other day I searched for working late, and then I just went down because I was just doing a TikTok about working late, and I just kind of went down and looked to see what that was about. This kind of like intimidated me at first. I have to be really honest with you.
It's quite a lot, especially if you go down the rabbit hole. But if you're starting, go to the trending part, because it'll give you top 10, 15 sounds that are being used right now. And again, those change a lot depending what's being used. The most common ones are probably going to be dances or people singing to it, but there's always other sounds or skit sounds that you could be using as well besides just the music.
So let's talk about skit sounds. You've used some of these. Explain what that is.
So it's either, again, people are pulling from outside, like Kevin Hart bits or something else that they just want to recreate themselves because they could, again, non-verbally replicate it and just go over the sound. Or there's actually people that will just go on there and say the dumbest things and people think it's funny and they'll use that sound from an original creator. And you could, again, just go to that sound and use it. And the way you do it is if you're going on TikTok and you see someone said something that's maybe relevant or you like it or think it's funny or you could use it toward your business, then you just go to that sound button, you hit it on the corner, and then it'll give you options as well to use that sound or save that sound. And if you use it, it'll take you straight into the creator for videos, which you could just go straight into it as well.
Yeah, and that was the other thing, like for sounds, like when you pick one, you
Mhm.
click on it, it checks it, then how do you make sure it actually connects to your video?
So the video go, so you go to where you go check.
Yeah.
You hit the check, so if you
And
hit the
then
check, so you hit the sound and then you actually hit the little red mark,
You hit it again.
and that's your kind of agreeing that, yes, I want to use this sound. So you hit it and did it open the camera?
It did.
Yeah, so it opened the camera, it strikes you to it.
I have no idea what this is, so it might
And
be really bad.
It's the
sound.
creator. So if
idea.
you do that and pick a sound, you'll see on the top, it actually, the sound is displaying on there, the name of it. So you know what sound you're using on there if you have one picked for now.
Right. So that's a lot. So does anybody have any questions about like the creator part of it yet?
Actually, yeah, we could go into that next.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a question about the creator part or not. but
Okay.
Shoot.
Yes.
So you said that you, the other night, searched for working late,
Yeah.
but the results could have nothing to do with working late.
Yeah, it was true. So I actually started going down and listening to little clips of the song because the songs don't play the whole song. They play like a clip, like maybe,
It's TikTok
20
is
seconds or 15
yeah,
seconds?
15 to 60 seconds long and everything, but and the sounds vary too. They could be really quick, really snappy, 8 seconds, 15 seconds, or up to 16 seconds.
and then you can kind of move the sound underneath it and find, it's got a little window. It's kind of like a little viewfinder. And then you move it and you kind of listen through to get to the right spot. So no, I mean, some of them were awful. They were like stuff I would never put
Right.
on my, so I mean, I find that interesting that so many kids are on this because it's some of it not safe for work kind of things. But anyway, the point is that it's music and it's out there. So
Do you want to get into the creator, the actual video, the tools on there? Because
Yeah,
it
let's
goes
do
with the
that.
sound of what
let's do
we're
that.
talking about.
Let's do
So
that. So here's the
let's-
creator. So
yeah.
if you click on the plus sign in the middle of the app, it'll open up a screen like that.
camera.
Okay, the camera screen.
Yes.
And on the camera screen around it,
Yeah.
you want to talk about those
Yeah,
pieces?
let me borrow your phone. So yeah, one of the things I talked to Cami about, this is interesting, TikTok, is because if you have been told to do video, maybe you haven't gone into video, dug into video, TikTok itself, the app here has really good tools that I would say go up against like a Premiere Pro or Premiere Rush or any other InShot, any other apps that you may have heard of that are in-app. And the fact, again, just kind of side note, the fact that has anyone heard of Adobe Rush?
Yes.
Adobe Rush, okay, so it's one of probably the most extensive video editing apps that I've used and seen. But Adobe Premiere Rush, I think, is one of the only exclusive apps that you can actually edit in app and export straight into TikTok. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, and this happened.
That's
I think
cool.
they announced it in the last Max, Adobe Max, or 2 Maxes ago. And that's where again I picked up on TikTok. I was like, okay, if Adobe is realizing that creators are going mobile or using these apps and that they could plug into TikTok and ride that wave with them, then it's got to be a huge thing. But just TikTok itself, before you go into any external apps, going into it, kind of running it, if you're looking at the app, the top one in the middle, you see the sound. Top right is flip, so that's so you could either go back and forth on the
yourself,
camera. Speed, if you want to go faster, slower, but that's also speed is in the bottom here too. If you see the 3x, 5x, 2x, that's how you control speed of the video. You see a beauty filter, which is just kind of like an Instagram thing. A lot of people just leave that on there. Filters, you could use filters as well. You could also swipe on the camera to get the filters on there, or you could
Well,
go,
like Instagram then.
right, or you could go into filters and use it, and they give you portrait, landscape, food, wide, any kind of filters. Going off to the right, the bottom is timers. So these are actually one of the key ones. The way people and kids are actually getting good at editing are using these tools. So the timer will actually give you a 3 or 10-second timer to get started, because if you want to set yourself up, it's not a click and go, right?
Because a lot of them are dancing. So that does happen a lot. There's a lot of dancing going on.
There's a lot of dancing. So to time yourself, again, give yourself 10 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever, and you turn that, and you could actually, in the timer, actually, like you said, trim it. So if there's people you see in 2 or 3 scenes within a TikTok, when you go into timer, you get to pick when it starts. You can move the little things to tell it when it stops. So if you want to go scene 1, okay, I want to do this with TikTok, and just say the first line, you go there, you time it, and you get it to stop there. And you do your bit, and it's going to stop there. And then it'll continue, it'll start you on the next part of that sound or whatever the skit is. So if you want to do, again, you don't have to have a friend. You could do like 1 personality and 2 personalities yourself and run the whole skit.
You've done that. I've seen you do that.
I've seen you do. I have multiple personalities on TikTok.
Yes, you do.
So then you'll run that way, and then you can stop it, and then you do it again for scene 2, where you could pick where you want it to stop next, or just let it run off into the.
So does it automatically stop in it? Is it this big red button in the middle to start it up again?
No, you always have to go to timer. So when you go to timer, you pick a sound, and then you scrub the last bit where you want it to stop, and then it'll actually give you a preview of like the last 2 or 3 seconds. It won't play from the beginning, which is good, because you're like, okay, this is where I want it to stop, and you could like kind of micro adjust it, and you leave it there. Then you hit start shooting. The counter starts, 3, 2, 1. You do your bit, and then it cuts there. Then you're ready to do scene 2 or next whatever you want to do. So that's the timer rule. And then I think there was another one. You don't have it on here, but some people have like a trim. Where if you don't want, this is the beginning of the sound. If you don't want to use the beginning of a sound, you trim it and you just start.
Oh, mine does that when you put the sound in.
You don't have a sound pick. That's right. Yeah. So, and then the other option is just flash if you want to use flash. So those are the tools on the right. Again, very important, big. I've seen people on the trends again from skit 1 to 2.
So that's interesting to me, because that means that you, in order to really think about this in a professional way, you can think about having scenes and a storyboard and all the things you've ever heard about in video, right? Mm-hmm. So a storyboard, like this is what you're going to do first, second, third, like planning it out in advance.
Yeah, which is where, again, I'll give props to the younger kids, the younger generation on there, because they're getting very creative with their transitions. I'm seeing, just in app, people will do like an example, like a changing routine in the morning, where they're in their pajamas and they do a simple little jump, and when they land back, they're like dressed in like their school outfit, right? And it looks like it could have been done in Premiere Pro. I've seen on the other end too, there's young kids, 14, 15, 16, 17, using After Effects, Adobe and Premiere to create like glowing effects and things where you are masking frame by frame and all these other things, where people are doing that on TikTok, and they're getting jobs that lead from that because they see the skills on there. So they're going outside.
Number one professional use of this is get on that. Actually, I have a funny story about that, kind of. I was on a panel at PRSA here in Houston a couple of weeks ago. I don't know who was there at the panel when we did it. Yeah. So do you remember when we were talking about TikTok, and he was at the Chronicle, he was talking about how a kid there is like an intern. I don't know if he's an intern or a young employee. In the newspaper business, you'd say, I want a TikTok. That means a point-by-point thing that happened. So it has a different meaning. And so he told the kid that I want a TikTok about this crime thing that happened. So the kid came back with a TikTok about the crime. Houston Chronicle does have a TikTok account. Yeah. So you guys might want to follow them and just see what they're up to. So I think that's really interesting, because that's news on TikTok, and this kid, he was like, no, what I meant was this thing. But he was very excited that, this kid has this new ideas and new thoughts. And so we need to kind of like get there too. So I think having those, we should probably do a TikTok before we leave here today that we can put on, because we have TikTok open. So make sure you do one TikTok before you leave. So
I'll do a TikTok.
How would you do like this? Like, how would you start Social Media Breakfast? Let's use this as an example.
Social Media Breakfast, you could do like a recap, or again, that's why you want to get on there, like a recap or a mini vlog, where maybe walking in, setting up, the people pouring in. You could pull a resource from the outside. If you have a time lapse, you could do a time lapse of people pouring in here, and then maybe an action shot, and then like a recap at the end or a call to action, and then put either a sound, or which is why you have to do the music research, because you could have either like an action sound or a soft, like fun, happy sound, and then you could just overlay that, and there you go. You have it for TikTok. Specifically, if I'm already thinking of a sound, there's a sound that kind of ends up with, and it went like this, and like I could have done a walkthrough of here, and then like really quick recap of what happened, and like shown this is how my Social Media Breakfast went.
Yeah.
But
so maybe we'll do one. And here's the other thing: you can also upload. So there's like a little square at the bottom, so you can upload things
from outside,
from your camera roll.
Mm-hmm.
So my question: can you upload more than one thing, or can you just only upload one thing?
I don't think you can right now, which is interesting, kind of frustrating. Yeah, because again, if you want to do something internally and do scene 1, and you captured something funny outside from another camera on Snapchat or Instagram, and want to bring it to scene 2, I don't think you could do that yet. I haven't tried it. It could be possible, but you definitely could pull in from the external sources to again, that big word.
Yeah, and I did it just as an example for you. So my name is Cami Chat on Instagram. So you can go check my Instagram stories. It's still live. I put it up last night, but I have that little crystal ball right there. And I did a cool upside down, because it turns it upside down thing of the mail. And I said, I got this crystal ball, but I have no idea how to use it. And then I used another tool that automatically makes things move. So like I just went in there and did this move thing, and I'll tell you what it is. I've got it right here.
It animates it. Is it the Fox Loop?
Actually, it's called, I'll tell you in a second. It's right here. Pixaloop is what it's called.
The Fox,
Pixaloop. And so I just kind of made it Pixaloop, and it's kind of moving. And I did all of that and put it in TikTok. And then I also uploaded it to Instagram.
Yeah. So you can repurpose. So
if that makes sense. And I also put on there going postal or something, or delivery or something, or I forget what it was. Some music like that.
Questions?
Move the video. So you film it in TikTok and put it across
other social media. So this is actually really neat because they integrate it with a lot. So if you go to your profile or any TikTok, actually, not even yours, if you want to share something or send a TikTok, a funny TikTok to someone, if you go to your profile, you would go to your picture, and then there's a little arrow on the side, again, with the tools, or any on the For You page, any video that you have, it's all set up where, could you go to your profile really quick so I can remember?
Sure.
Just click any video as long as the volume.
Crazy one.
So you'll see, when you see in a video, you'll see the profile little bubble, which is your profile picture, and then the bottom one is comments, I believe, or heart, which is just how you like things. And again, you could double tap or hit the heart. And then the bottom one next is comments, and then the last 3 dots is kind of like options for that specific TikTok, which it'll give you either sharing options on another social media platform, sharing options via direct message, and then the other one is sharing other tools that you could do it. So they have a unique tool on here.
The three lines.
Yeah, the 3 lines. So you get these tiers of direct message, share externally to another app, or you could download it, or just send the link specifically, which is good. And then TikTok, actually, I'll give them credit because they were really smart. Anything you export outside of TikTok, it'll stamp at the end your profile picture and made by or something like that, and it'll put your username. So even Instagram, Twitter, anyone else, you'll see them at the end, at the last little scene of that TikTok. It gives credit to you and TikTok at the same time. So now that's why you're seeing TikTok videos on Instagram and Twitter and everywhere else.
Well, and that's interesting to me too, because it's also got a connection directly in the app with Instagram. So can you talk about that a little bit? Because right now that's a lot of discovery is happening between Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, so a quick just conversion from or export from TikTok to Instagram stories is there's an Instagram stories and Instagram option, and it'll take you, I think on both phones, Android and iPhone, it'll take you directly into Instagram stories option.
All right,
so,
I'm doing it right now.
Oh yeah. So there's an Instagram itself, and then there's another button for Instagram stories, and it'll take you straight into stories. And if it's longer than 15 seconds, Instagram will cut it up. And it'll keep that tag again. TikTok Smart.
I could do this send to, and I could say my story.
Yeah.
And now it's on my story.
And you can put it on your story. So when it exports, you'll be branding yourself in TikTok as well, but people at least know, hey, you're on TikTok. Let me go find him on TikTok, right? The rabbit hole, go find you on there. And then the other sharing options that I was seeing on there is tools within the app, but ways to actually collaborate, which is what a lot of people ask either on YouTube or Instagram or making things. It's this thing called Duets. I don't know if anyone's seen it on there.
Oh, it's very funny.
So Duet is just another level of adding on and creating where people are getting smart using this. Someone will do one part of a skit, and they'll do like line 1, 3, and 5, and then you can go in and duet that TikTok and do line 2 and 4 and 6. And now there's like next to it's a side-by-side view, and people are getting creative where they're actually like looking to the right. And then when you make yours, you can look to the left, and it looks like on the Duet, like you're talking to each other and actually making a skit. And you don't have to be,
and it can be pretty funny
with that person. Yeah, they can be funny and they can be creative. A lot of people could use the sound and the words, but non-verbally, maybe they're doing something else, which is hilarious. Some of those, like you said, are funny. But the power there is that you could duet, you could collaborate with other main creators. And that's an option. You can either turn that off or keep it on. But for most part, a lot of creators, like the big ones, will keep it on because they want to be spread out, right? That's a way to kind of like a routine.
And if you're afraid as a brand that somebody's going to misuse your stuff, then you can actually lock that down. So that is actually another thing you can make sure doesn't happen to you. Actually, there's another nonverbal person like you that's on here, and she does some funny duets where she gets on there and the person is talking or singing or whatever they're doing, and she's like clinically writing
analyzing
things down.
Them. Analyzing them.
Yes, analyzing them, talking about their nonverbals, It's cute. I mean,
It's-
there's
yeah.
some fun things that are going on there.
The duets, yeah. So duets is another powerful tool within the app that you can make your own and then to download and put them somewhere else. And if you took into Instagram, maybe find that content creator if they're famous and tag them too. So that way you get their attention on another platform. So ways of sharing, the way she asked is, yeah, you could either direct message, externally send out, copy a link, put it somewhere else, or do a duet where you're sharing with another person the video that's side by side.
That's awesome. So those are just a few things. We've been talking about this anyway, but what kind of content works on TikTok and what kind doesn't? So my son says all my stuff is lame. Just FYI.
No.
So just so you know, it's lame up front. Could you talk a little bit about that?
The kind of content. So let's talk about, I think maybe TikTok might be a little bit more of quantity over quality sometimes, because it's a lot. It's fast. Again, I'm telling you, the trends, the challenges are happening. I've seen accounts like the famous accounts who will post 4 or 5 times a day, and they're doing different dances or different skits or collaborating with people and doing it with their friends. So the amount, I would say doesn't really matter, because again, I think when you're talking about actually getting traction on TikTok, it is that you kind of just want to throw out all your content. And the purpose of TikTok is, again, it's free. It's a little bit more liberating. It's more open to where you could put out your lame or your B-roll, your B team of content, and one of them might hit and you don't know. TikTok is the one that tells you, and the algorithm is still tricky. No one's trying to capture or beat the algorithm. And you could post again 5 videos in one day and you think, oh, I nailed my dance on this one, and the other one, which is oh, it's just me waking up in the morning brushing my teeth, and wake up with 100,000 views on that one, and your dance video had 10 likes. So it's very tricky right now. I couldn't tell you hey, this is the way to do it. People they'll literally wake up and again brush their teeth, or they'll paint a wall and get hundreds of views.
Yeah.
And
I've seen that too.
Yeah,
That's really
happens.
interesting. And I know that there's some people that are getting a following on TikTok for sure, but usually they're very consistent in what they do.
Yeah, they're either consistent or they have a niche, or they're someone, again, music, followers, creatives, artists, photographers.
I know a girl who reads the text that her mother sends her.
Yeah,
And people
there's,
love that.
There's people, I've seen those. I've seen
read your hate mail, read your negative comments.
dating apps. I've seen people do the dating apps, their messages. It's just hilarious, the back end of that. Yeah, so content is yours. You can make whatever you want. It doesn't have to be what your brand is everywhere else. If you're a marketer on there, I've seen people go do marketer stuff on there, but I've seen the marketer, again, wake up and dance or do a dance with their kids, and that gets a lot more views than my social media tips for the day, right? So go on there and explore and play around. You're not gonna TikTok will tell you what they like, and if it's dancing or if it's lip syncing or if it's crystal balls or minions, then that's what's going to be popular.
Well, the minions were trending at that moment.
Yeah. So and that's another reason why that happens, I think, because if you pick the right sound and if you use the right hashtags, you could be doing something else completely different that's not relevant to your brand or something else, but it's giving you attention and it's giving you those likes and views on there.
And they are following back into Instagram. That is definitely happening. So I've seen that already. I've seen the following grow and stuff like that through there.
So the topic of, why TikTok is important and bringing it over there and kind of like a sales funnel for those of you who actually want to bring people back to your other profiles is on your profile, you have the ability to actually put your Instagram and your YouTube right now, and you could connect directly on there. And that's what happens. Usually people, again, if you're doing some kind of content or creating something on TikTok that's not to your actually what you're selling or what your brand or your purpose is, people will go on there and see, hey, this person's funny, or this person's a good dancer, and they will go down the rabbit hole of your Instagram. It's oh, they're a certified body language specialist. Wow, I couldn't even tell that from their, from their TikTok. And then they'll go down your rabbit hole and maybe click a website or click a sales funnel or something else. So it is a helpful kind of jump over rabbit hole to your other profiles.
And I actually was doing a lot of just digging through, and we'll talk about big brands in a minute, because there are some big brands, big brands that are investing into this. But this woman, her name is Bree. She is Bree Designs _. She's from the UK. She's kind of like us. She's a social media person that's helping her clients to do different things. And she actually does some cool social media tips on here for sure, like how to style your IG stories. And she'll just do a screenshot of what she's doing, because you can see what she's doing here, right? She's kind of just talking about it. She's showing you how she's building something for Instagram and kind of talking about it. So she's done very well for herself through this. I mean, she's got, about 7,000, almost 8,000 followers doing these kind of just social media tips. I don't know. I mean, she's kind of fun to watch. She even did one she has a really interesting Instagram account, which I went and found and followed. And really interestingly, she does these carousels on Instagram where there are tips and where you kind of move them. And she just did a video of the carousel that she made.
Simple stuff, yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, that was an easy way to kind of do that. I'm thinking, oh, okay. And she was just showing you how she did it. She was using, I think, Photoshop. It looks like Photoshop to me. Anyway, so she's doing something like that, and it's pretty simple. It's straight up. So I wanted something small to show you.
Yeah.
That being said, let's talk about the big brands that are on this baby.
Cool.
So can you talk about some of that?
One of the first ones I ever heard of was the Washington Post.
Yep.
Like when I started digging into it, and I know we put out some articles on the event page for Facebook that are
right
showing some metrics. So I want to talk about big brands and analytics too, kind of how you
do
measure
that.
traction. So
Let's do
big
it.
brands, Washington Post, a lot of sports teams are doing on there. I've seen Gushers, the candy. I've seen artists, people.
Elf, the makeup brand is on there.
Makeup brands. I've seen them. Cosmetics is another actually big
Obviously.
platform on there on TikTok.
Makes sense.
Who else is on there? Sports, the NBA, actually just from Houston. Houston cheerleaders are on TikTok. Toro, the mascot, is on TikTok.
Houston Chronicle.
Houston Chronicles on TikTok. The Rockets are on TikTok. Who else that I just seen? There's other people here just locally in Houston that are making content specifically for that because they know it's going to either spill over or it's going to get attention. Toro has actually a really good TikTok account, and he might be top 3 like mascots in general from all sports that are actually creating content on there for that purpose. One of the main ones I think is right now, again, the NBA itself. They're going into All-Star Weekend. They're pouring a lot into, and they've actually brought the TikTok influencers, the big people on there, into the All-Star Weekend. So now there's people getting famous on there, getting paid and flown out to these kind of events and just being relevant, to be doing their things because they know they're going to pull those eyes and attention again towards whatever they need to be doing. There's 2 big famous dancers, young people on there right now at All-Star over there. Where's that? I think Chicago. It's in Chicago, I think.
Okay.
And Benny the Bull from the Chicago Bulls is I would say one of the top accounts, mascot accounts on TikTok right now. And he'll go around again and he'll do it every of the other people. I'm guessing to be the mascot, you have to have some pep and some dancing. So they're doing dancing already. So he's just applying and it's just getting attention and pulling out other things. Who else has it? Bevo, I think Bevo UT, their mascot has one.
Yeah.
U of H, their mascot, Shasta, and someone else. I see some Longhorns out here. Shasta and the other Cougar, they're on there. They have a joint account. So yeah, it's interesting to see them on there because it's funny to see they're trying to be relevant because they're doing what the little influencers, the younger influencers, are trying to do and trying to stick in, which is a tactic, something you could try to do on there for yourself if you're going to actually try to join. But again, like you just showed her account, that's very unique what she was doing of actually showing you the process of a carousel that you could later go on Instagram and see the finished product.
That's cool.
So you mentioned, I think, the San Diego Zoo was on there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
San Diego Zoo, the National Guard, I've seen it on there.
Yep. So
Who
that's,
else?
Hello, government.
Yeah, the government, some agencies are using it. Famous people, which is funny because the actual famous content creators I've seen gripe about, no celebrities, stay away from TikTok. This is our platform. Like we own this. Stay away from there.
They also say, parents, stay away from it. We don't want
Oh,
you
yeah,
on
no,
our, and we
no.
don't want you. And my son said, you're going to tell marketers how to use TikTok? She goes, don't do that. They don't want us on there. But so I think we need to make sure that our content is just fun and awesome. Do you know what I'm saying? And behind the scenes, I think that's really part of
another
it
big
too.
one,
It's
yeah.
that behind the scenes piece of it that is so fun and irreverent, that you can do.
Mhm.
I have a hospital client too, so I think about healthcare, like fun things about health.
Yeah.
All those little recipe videos and stuff that you could do those on there, especially with the TikTok, like adding things and jumping in and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of really cool stuff that could happen, I think, with TikTok. And then, hey, I can take it and put it on Instagram. To me, that's a bonus. I mean, to me, that's
Anywhere
a huge
export,
bonus.
yeah.
To be able to use that other places. One of the things I did want to tell you about is that last month, TikTok opened they call it self-serve advertising, but I'm going to tell you it's $20,000 for a 7-day spend. So it is not for us, friends, or at least not for me.
Yeah, not right now.
Or any of my clients that are even big clients are like, no, not now.
Not now.
So I think for brands, like huge brands that are trying to reach this specific audience, it is. But that being said, obviously TikTok skews a little bit younger demographically,
Mhm.
but talk a little bit about that, the demographics of the
Demographics,
site.
yeah, it's a good one. So it's actually, I'll probably say maybe 60% the younger generation, maybe
And that
under
means from
20.
18 till
18 lower, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
18 to 10, 11, 12. I just spoke to like 8th graders
that
last week.
shouldn't be on it, by the way.
Last week,
The 13,
and
13 is the minimum age, so they
it's
may
a
get
minimum. Yeah, it's I
they
don't
may
know how
get
they
I
got
don't know.
that.
TikTok may get in trouble for that. They have in their terms of service that if they find out you're under 13, they'll kick you off. It's I mean,
Fine print.
yeah.
So I spoke to the 8th graders, and my friend, the coach who put me in there, she's like, just don't mention the Renegade because you'll have everyone dancing. The Renegade is a dance on there, a trending dance. She's like, don't mention anything or do anything like that.
You want to demonstrate?
I
Tell us real quick.
actually, I'll put my TikToks out later because I did some dancing TikToks
Okay, so
last night.
at the end, we're gonna do Renegade up here.
If
and
you
you're
want to
gonna-
learn I
so
just
if
learned
anybody
it
wants
last
to learn
night.
the Renegade, I will and then I can film it. We can do it for our social media
I'll
breakfast
show you.
TikTok.
Yes, I'll do it for the TikTok.
Okay, awesome.
But yeah, it's interesting, the demographics to where it's mainly younger,
Mhm.
but you do see once you go down the rabbit hole of it, if you are seeing like the older content creator and you're liking their stuff, again, the algorithm will throw that at you. And there's even sounds. There's a sound that says like either locally or age specific, like there's a sound that says, hey, if there's anyone over 21 on this app right now, duet this sound and say hi or something, right? And you click on that sound and then all of a sudden you see everyone who's over 21.
Yeah.
So you're seeing that there's older people. There's another one for like, hey, if there's anyone over 48 or 40 or 50 or whatever.
TikTok over 40 is a hashtag,
It
and
is-
TikTok over
exactly.
30 is also a hashtag.
So that's how
I'm
you
sure
find
TikTok
your
over 52, but
that's how
didn't
you
check that
find
one.
your people. So if you think it's younger, but you want to see how the older maybe generations are actually using it, go find the hashtags, go find the sounds, go to those profiles, go to those videos, and then you'll see other ideas like, okay, if these people are doing it, there's the influencers, some of the big influencers, their parents now have profile accounts, and there's parents of influence with like hundreds of thousands of followers now because they're doing it too. So
Oh yeah, and some of the influencers have made their parents famous by
Mhm.
doing that. Like
Oh, yeah.
you know, there's a guy, and I can't remember his name right now, but he's in like a nursing home, and his kid goes over there all the time, and they
Oh, yeah.
they ask him questions, and he is like super popular. He goes, "Hi out there on the TikTok," you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah,
So
there's
cute.
so
So
elderly. Yeah, you're talking about generations. I think it breaks it. There's a.
Granddad Frank.
Is that him? Yeah.
Thank you, Granddad Frank. Yes.
There you go.
So Ann says Granddad Frank figured it out.
Yeah.
Can
there's
we do this? Yes, we can.
Oh yeah, numbers are
500,000
crazy.
followers, Granddad Frank.
Um,
Thank you. I needed that help. Assist from Ann. Good.
So we're talking about big brands, but we kind of went again into these
Yeah.
smaller, other just smaller accounts. But it's just easy. You don't have to be a big brand. You don't have to have, even on Instagram, if you haven't started anywhere else, if you just want to go straight into TikTok, you have a chance, because I've seen people who start their profile, their first video, they put it up. I'm on the For You page, and I'm like, oh, this one has 800,000 views already and so many likes. And I go to their profile, and it's their first video ever. And like, they just boom, skyrocket. I was like, okay, from then on, you kind of have the pressure of now I have to make good content. Or maybe again, you make 3 more videos and they all flop. But you have those followers, and those followers will just shoot up a lot. I will mention though, back in from what I've experienced too and seen, there is a little bit of a bot scene on there right now that they haven't cleared up. So if you're seeing people with all these followers, you could probably bet a certain percentage, 20, 30 are probably just bots or other accounts that are just kind of going on there being
Well,
made.
and you can still click on theirs and see who's following them. So I've been doing that a lot too. So like if I
Mhm.
find somebody I like and I think they're interesting,
And they're human.
I'll go, and they're humans. I go and I click on who's following them, and I kind of go down and see, or who they're following too. So you can see both. So
Yeah.
I'll click on both, and I'll see kind of who are they following and who are their influencers. I had one person that was talking about it, and trying to remember her name, and she said, "Yeah, I don't follow anybody who has children because I don't think that they're that hip." I was like, "Oh, great!" So I went down, and she has
Judging.
children, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's not that she was saying that; she was just looking for what's on trend and on point. So there's a lot of interesting things. Hey, we have a
Question.
few minutes for questions, so let's do that.
So, and you may have covered this one from distance. So I only follow about 3 accounts. The Hangry one being one. But in my feed, throw that up there for you. In my feed, there's all these videos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did they get served to me?
Right.
Is it the trending content?
It is a trending, yeah, that's like the algorithm part. That's the For You page, where that's the universal, like the discovery kind of channel. And then again, on the top, you have the other one following, which if you're just following 3 people, you're only going to get those 3 people. And that feed might end, if you're scrolling, it might
Yeah.
end quicker than your For You feed.
And I also think that they're being smart about it, because unlike Twitter, where you come in and you're like, who do I follow? What do I do? They started, giving you some information.
Yeah.
There you go. And then they're going to like actually fine tune that based on what you end up liking. And so they'll start sending you. So they do have an algorithm.
Yeah.
But,
But I wouldn't say like, if you're trying to
not.
break it, yeah, don't do it. Because again, you could do a picture of a standing broom or a video, and that goes big for your profile. And you want to go, no, I'm a social media marketer. Don't laugh at my broom video. But if that's what TikTok is going to laugh about, then, and if it's trending, that's
Yeah.
what's going to happen. So you kind of right now, if you're going on there and thinking about looking at it, you really just want to ride the wave and create. One of my first videos, let's kind of dig into analytics, because for
let's
those,
do that one.
I think that's important for marketers
Yes.
too. And you want to see some, results back. There is a way actually, if you go and you sign up, if you go on the app and you don't have to create a profile, we mentioned that earlier. So if you have it or just want to download it, check it out right now for the day. Warning, because you will get sucked in. I've seen TikTok videos on people getting sucked
Okay,
in
this dog is killing me.
into
I'm sorry.
TikTok. Which one is it?
He's got like,
Oh, that one. They
he's
call
a-
him Doodle.
yeah, anyway. He'll have a
Um,
rose in his mouth in a moment. You see what I mean? It's like the little, yeah. Anyway.
There is a lot of dogs. That too. If you have like pet Instagram, put them over on TikTok, because that'll do
Yeah.
well for them too.
Yeah.
So yeah, analytics on the numbers. If you just want to get on there right now, like we mentioned, and look at it, you don't have to make a profile. You don't have to sign up. It just takes you straight to the feed, and you can start scrolling and you'll get sucked into it. I've seen people who make TikToks on this because they'll do the ones where it's like 9 p.m. at night. Let me just get on TikTok for 30 minutes. And like the next thing is like 4 a.m. I'm still scrolling to TikToks. And that happens. That really,
Yeah.
really happens. I've had everyone who I suckered into TikTok come and curse me. It's like, Jose, it's 3 a.m. last night. I'm going through TikTok and laughing at
Yeah.
a dog with a rose.
Well, one of the funniest TikToks I saw was a guy who said, TikTok, this is terrible. He did a whole thing about his change of mind about TikTok.
Day one, like
Day
two,
one,
yeah.
day 2, day 3, and then by day 3 he's like crying and like, oh my gosh, it's a baby, and
It
it
happens.
just was fun. But I mean, it was funny because of how he did it
Yeah.
in the TikTok. Like, I mean, obviously acting, but just funny
Acting,
because it's
yeah.
showing how he.
But it
kind
does
of-
happen.
Yeah.
So, and to get the analytics, you want to make sure you actually create a profile, and then there's an option you actually have to turn off in settings to get the analytics to start happening. Do we have a question? Or? Okay.
I just want to
No,
Yeah,
no, it's
go
okay.
ahead.
So Julie asked that TikTok also spreads challenges. So
Yeah.
she says a local boy was injured and hospitalized with a head injury after he was surprised by two
Oh, yeah.
friends doing a knockdown challenge.
Yes.
So parents obviously need to be aware, but
Yep.
do those of us on the platform as adults have a responsibility to address the dangerous challenges?
Yeah, so the challenges, the knockdown challenges, the dangerous challenges, let me just say they've been on YouTube forever. But TikTok just updated their terms of service. I just sent that out, and I think it was in response to this. And they said that kind of content is going to be deleted from the site. Now, how they're going to do that, I don't know, because it's millions and millions of pieces of
Right.
content.
Well, if it's a trending thing, then they could probably find it and hit like a one button.
And hit one
boom.
button to get rid of the whole trend.
I haven't seen anything too violent like that, like the knockdown and people get hurt, on my experience. But again, algorithm could be catered to you, and if you don't want to see that, there's an actually option to within options again when sharing to not interested, and then you're kind of telling TikTok, hey, don't send me these kinds of videos or on my For You page.
But as far as kids go, if they're 13 or under, they shouldn't be on TikTok
Right.
anyway. So one of the cool ways that you can kind of, do that is I actually use, I have an Android, so I know a lot of people have iPhone. There's a 360 tool that you can use for all kids and kind of control apps. But I use Google Home, and we have them all
Okay.
hooked up to that. And inside of it, I can limit any of my kids' apps directly. I can put limits on how much time they spend on them. I can shut them off, and they won't actually even load YouTube, say, onto the app until they're 13. So when they're 13, they open up those permissions.
Yeah.
So I don't know. For parents, I think it's up to us to control it. It's a Google, like I do it through my Google Home app. I can show it to you afterwards.
What was the question?
Funny example you said about the guy.
Yeah.
process of-
Yeah.
His process of getting onto TikTok. Yeah.
How long was that?
Oh, 60, I don't know, very short.
The actual video?
Yeah, 30 seconds. something like that.
Yeah, 45, 38 seconds, 45 seconds like that.
It was like over 3 days. You did it?
No,
No,
he's like,
it's a skit.
he just
He
it's a
acted
skit.
it out. Yeah,
He acted
again,
it out. He's
scene
like,
one.
Day 1,
Oh yeah, you could create
day 2.
timeline. You could fake 3 days and like 30 seconds on TikTok or any other video. Again, the creativity that people are using it for.
And what's the maximum length
60 seconds.
It's not called a post, right?
It's a video, it's a TikTok.
Post. They call it a TikTok.
Yeah, I think it's a TikTok, yeah.
What's the maximum?
60 seconds. So they break it down in the creator.
Good
You
question.
you could either go and it sets you up actually for 15 seconds. This is something if you're creating to watch out for. It sets you up for 15 seconds. So if you start recording, sometimes it'll cut you at 15 seconds. So if you think you're gonna go over or using a sound that's more, you need to make sure to switch it over to 60 seconds because then that way it'll do that. And then the reverse too, if you do a 15-second or less video and you have it on 60, it'll just kind of like freeze and go over. So you'll have it awkward, like 15 seconds and then 40 seconds of nothing. So you have to be careful when you're timing it, what you're doing. And it's right there on the app whenever you're doing it.
And you can also do it out of the app and then upload it.
Yeah.
So if you feel uncomfortable with the app, I mean, you can play around with that. But like today, because I didn't think about this ahead of time, I'm in a minute ask everybody to stand up and do a little thing. And then we're going to do a little TikTok, but it'll take me probably a couple of hours to put it together because I'm going to string all of the things
Outside,
together.
So you take.
I'll use InShot.
You take 3 shots, and then later on you.
Yeah.
You can clip it,
You
yeah.
can do that. So I'm going to use a tool called InShot, which I
InShot's
love.
good.
It's both on Android and on iPhone. And InShot is just basically, you can say what you want it to look like. You can make it square or long, like an Instagram story.
InShot's really good.
Yeah, I like InShot
Adobe
a
Rush and
lot.
InShot would be my top 2.
Yes.
I was messing around with it while you were talking and
Great.
adding segments.
Yeah.
So it's very much like shooting in camera and editing as you go.
Right.
So it's like you can go back and redo the last one.
Yeah.
Is there any way to like go back and further? You kind of like get a shot.
It's the last one, yeah. Last
So
one
that's
per
the funny
shot.
part is that they're actually figuring the whole shot sequence out before they start.
Yeah.
So if you think about how cool that is, we're going to have a whole generation of children that come up that know how to do video.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're going to
It reminds
understand.
me exactly of growing up and having like a VHS camera and
Mhm.
have it
Yeah.
and everything.
Kind of
Yeah.
in a redo.
In order, exactly right.
Yeah.
And this is something that I told Cami when we were talking about doing this is the skills again that it takes to do this. There's going to be a lot of kids that are learning editing skills, something that maybe again you might already consider or you're still on their phone, right? And just in app on TikTok, it's a good way to really like, okay, to know if I'm only have one way to go or race back, then I'm planning my scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. And there's people who do again like second scenes where you'll have like maybe 50 takes in 60 seconds, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous because they're doing a transition and they're doing something that's just like
They spend a lot of time on that.
there's TikToks that'll take months. Sometimes I've seen people do like over Christmas there was one where people were taking like an ornament and throwing it into a room and it did like a grenade sound. They
Oh.
closed the door and then they opened it and then all of a sudden the room was all like Christmas all over. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's fun.
people are doing
Yeah.
that. There was a dorm at the beginning of college. There was a dorm version of that too, where people were throwing like a spray can in their dorm and then closing the door and then opening it. And again, transition, right? It's going to take a while before you actually do
Messy,
the.
clean, that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
it
Yeah.
would be an empty dorm. They would throw like a random whatever ornament in there, close the door. Real life, you have to redo your dorm, and then you go back into the app. Okay, that was take 1. Back into the app. X amount 2 days later, then go in the next transition, open the door, and now your dorm's all set up. And it takes some TikToks will take days to make, and maybe sometimes seconds to mess up because you go back and race.
In my experience, like you just messing around making one, like you try to get out of it, like you want to delete it.
No, you can, if you kind of go forward to the point where it says caption, yeah, there's a draft, it'll save it. But again, you can only edit back, delete the last version. If you want to delete everything, you'll have to start over again.
I learned today about the timer, which is awesome.
Timer's awesome, yeah.
Timer.
Getting really clean,
Yeah.
and then the end clean, so it's like hunting with your thumb.
On that timer version, there's a little arrow at the end that you could scrub. And if you listen to the sound, you could say, hey, okay, I want to stop here because that's either going to be the end of my video or the end of my
The
scene
sound.
1. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could break, if you have a minute sound that you just want to use for 15 seconds, you could break it down that way. And also the other way at the beginning, when you pick the sound, there was a timer or what was the other one? There's another one you could edit, trim the beginning. So if you don't want to start abruptly or start it at a certain point, you can do that with the actual tool there.
All right, I can take one more question.
Yeah, the TikTok is really great for personal use or
Yes.
What's your take on nonprofit?
Nonprofits. How can nonprofits use this? Oh, actually, that could be very good.
I would say a lot of nonprofits are team-based, probably. There's more than one person, right? You could always do like a day of behind the scenes of nonprofit or do something like that. And again, mini vlogs are good too. You don't have to dance, you don't have to lip sync, you don't have to be funny. You could do a mini vlog or show, like she said earlier, that Instagram person was just put up their phone and recorded their screen of her working on that. So you could show a lot of behind the scenes, just like Instagram stories, but this one's more permanent because you're gonna have a video on your profile of your nonprofit. And again, if you know, this is, if you know your team, right? If you have a personality that's outgoing or actually loves to sing or dance, bring them on in. Be like, hey, have you heard about TikTok? Like, let's do a dance. And people will love that, because if you have someone who's, again, in the older generation or everything, and they were a dancer, they know they were a cheerleader, they're probably the ones that are going to be like, all right, I'm a little rusty, but let's try TikTok out and see how it works. And if you show them again, go down the trend and go to sound, be like, hey, look, this one's so easy. It's like 1, 2, 3, literally, let's just do it. Then that way you can start warming up
today's
people.
Valentine's Day, for example. Let's just take that, for example.
Oh, there's going to be a lot.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're in Discover and it's for my Valentine,
Hashtag
like how can you show how inside of your love inside of your nonprofit? Like how are you showing love to your clients? How are you showing love to your customer, not your customers, but to the people you help? You don't have to even show the people. You could even do a skit, like with your team. So, I mean, you got to think about it very creatively, but I mean, it's the same as any other brand. You want to let people know who you are so that they grow to know, like, and trust you. And the best way to do that is in this app is to show the most human part of your organization that you can get.
And the ideas will come from the app too, because again, they move 2-3 days a day. The trends, the hashtags are moving. So we're like, okay, what can we create? What can we do? Go there and look and see what's going on. I just got an idea for Valentine's. If you have a team, if you're a nonprofit, do a POV, a point of view. Grab a rose or chocolates and videotape point of view, giving it to like your team members. Do scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. Put a nice little trending song over it, and boom, you have your For My Valentine.
So that being said, could everybody just stand up real quick, because we're going to do a video real quick. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Come on, let's do it. So can you do this with your hands?
Oh, a little heart.
Like a little heart, and then go like, I just want you to like
boomerang
just do
style.
so we'll find a sound for it in the race. Let me get this going. I'm going to do it on an actual video.
Yeah.
All right.
You can cut it later.
I'll cut it later. So I'm going to stand back as far as I can, and I'm going to do a little pan. So you go out there and get your hands in there. Okay. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing it.
Do the heart.
Smile too, like you love people. Awesome. Okay, that's it.
Nice.
Thank you. So later on, I'll put that on TikTok with a SMDHOU hashtag. I'll also put it on Instagram so that you guys can see it.
I wanted to get back to the analytics where we're talking about to traction.
So you change it in the settings.
Right, you change it in the settings, you turn it on, and then you could actually get analytics, and that way it'll tell you things like how many people viewed it, how many likes. I wanted to go on top of one of my most famous ones, which again, I didn't know I was going to be doing this. It was it was actually a human behavior fact.
Yes. This actually worked out well for you because it was in your brand.
Yeah, it was. And let's see, let's just go to analytics really quick. And it was a 7-second video from a sound that I had seen that was actually trending. 113 likes. Total play was 25 hours, 48 minutes. And the video was 8 seconds.
Can you explain what it was about?
So it was like, there's like a little fun fact where you like walk up from camera, then like you look up and you point and it's like a ding sound and you walk out of camera. And it was literally, let's see, did you know that the satisfaction from sex isn't linked from performance or assets? It's actually linked to haptics, touch. And that's all I said. And I walked in, walked out, and like that was it. And it actually got, so this is a term that you might want to know, shadow banned. I don't know if it exists on any other platforms.
Yes.
Shadow banned.
Actually it exists on Twitter.
Yeah. So TikTok might actually like freeze or just hold that video where it's saying, oh, something's wrong with it for some reason on the back end, and you can't get any more likes, it can't be shared, but it's still there on your profile. And so this one got shadow banned at like 12,000 views, almost like going to 14. So I was kind of upset because I was like, that was my most hitting one, but I didn't know it was going to hit. I just thought it was a trending sound, so I used it. Other ones, 1,000 views. You've seen in GoProfile, speaking of analytics, so you'll have like 100 views, 5 likes, and all of a sudden you have that one video that has like 500,000 views, and it's like, whoa, that's different from the other content. So there is a way to look at analytics and kind of measure what you're doing, but again, TikTok is just going to pick whatever it's going to like. The people are going to pick.
Yeah, it's new, it's nascent, right? So this is early days. I'm pretty sure that over time they will restrict things. There's going to be advertising. There's going to be stuff coming. But this is the time to jump in to get the most traction right now.
There's no restriction.
So that's why I wanted to have this. I want you guys to all give Jose a huge hand for coming and sharing with us a little bit about how he's been doing this. Yeah. I appreciate you. And that being said, thank you very much. If there's any jobs that are in the room, I'm going to ask you about that in a minute. But I want to ask Loretta to come up because she has a request for her nonprofit. So come on up. I'm going to have to give you my mic. That's why I pulled it off me. Not too close.
Not too close?
It booms.
Oh, no, booms. Oh, booms?
Yeah, boom.
Good morning, Boom.
Boom.
Can you hear it? Okay. 35% of women are not being at the top in their board leaderships as far as in STEM, innovation, and leadership industries. And what we're doing at Supergirl Shine Foundation is making sure that we streamline that pipeline to prepare girls early for the workforce. So our question or our ask today is, we need someone to help us tell that story. There are so many girls who are not raising their hand in the classroom because of less of confidence and self-awareness. And we are instilling in them that they can do it too. They can TikTok. So if they can TikTok, they can raise their hand. So who will help us tell that story? Raise your hand.
So tell us what you
2, 1.
Tell us your
We need, we're actual ask. We need writers, we need bloggers, we need PR, we need people who believe in this particular message will help us tell that story. We work with middle school, high school, and collegiate girls.
Perfect. Yes, so My Heart Media is now just stood up and said yes, so go. And
Thank you, My Heart Media.
so that's awesome. They're an amazing PR team. So what I'd love to say is that, we might share some stuff also on the social media breakfast page if you guys want to watch for it, but I think that's a great cause. There's a lot of great causes, but certainly thank you very much for sharing with us today. Is there any jobs out there that we need to let people know about so that if they are looking for work or not yet? Okay, so on our page, on the Facebook page, which is, you can get there by going to facebook.com/Houston Social Media. On that page, I have a pinned post there that has jobs that are available. So you can go there and look on the comments. If you do have a job that comes up, please always go there and add it there because people are watching that post for upcoming jobs. So that being said, next month, I am going to have Ann come up here for just a second. We are going to do something a little different again. I'm trying to kind of shake it up this year a little bit. So shake it up, shake it up. So could you tell us?
That was a TikTok right there.
We'll do that in a minute. We're going to come over here and do Renegade in a minute. So we'll do it. So could you, let's just give us a little example or tell us what's going to happen next month.
Sure. I'm going to get really close to Cami because I love her.
I only invite people I want to be close to.
Oh, thank you. So I am organizing an event called LinkedIn Local Houston. I don't know if you guys are familiar with LinkedIn Local. A couple years they started it, and now they have pretty much left people to their own devices to organize an event with some caveats or guidelines from LinkedIn. But the idea is that to really meet people in real life or make those connections in real life behind just the profile. I mean, how many of you are connected to thousands or hundreds of people on LinkedIn here in town that you may never have even met? And but of course, I want to have an educational component to it, inspired by Cami here. So the first event is going to be on the 3rd, but Cami has graciously allowed me to use this platform to have it another LinkedIn Local for the next social media breakfast.
Yeah, in March. What is the date, Katie? It's like 13th or something, I think.
Oh, March 13th, Friday the 13th, yes. But not unlucky. So I hope you guys will come join us at the March social media breakfast. And we'll be talking about why LinkedIn is a platform just beyond prospecting or job hunting or recruiting, because so many people use it just for that. And you can really grow your community, because we love growing community. And
we're actually live streaming right now on LinkedIn. So hi.
Oh, hi. I forgot we're live streaming. So we're going to grow your community and show how you can really use it as a key ingredient to your business success or your personal brand success. So hope to see you next month.
Yes. And I will be in San Francisco, so I will actually be joining the live stream. So I'm excited about that. So thank you, Ann, for doing that. And also, I think it's going to be an awesome opportunity for all of you to grow your community around LinkedIn. I love that. So thank you guys very much. And if anybody wants to do Renegade with us, come on up here. We're going to do it real quick. All right. Take care. Bye.